Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third video. We're doing a CFS versus Beijing Climate Centre 6-month lookout for today's third and final video. So as the name says on the tin, we're going to go 6 months out with CFS V2 and then we'll do it all over again with Beijing Climate Centre. And we'll see what they're both showing. Now, I say it's a 6-month look ahead. It is in terms of the CFS side of this. It isn't, though, for the Beijing Climate Centre side of this. I'm going to stop at month number 5 with this one. So the 6-month period is going to take us from next month, from July through to December. But of course, for our live stream tomorrow, we're going to be looking at the Beijing Climate Centre for winter of 2021. And I didn't want to include any spoilers in this one. So I thought what we would do is stop this at, we'd stop it at November on the Beijing Climate Centre side, month number 5. And then we'll pick it up tomorrow for our live stream. And you'll be able to see what Beijing Climate Centre is forecasting for December, January, February, March, and also tri-monthly periods in our live stream tomorrow from 5 o'clock. So I think that's going to be quite exciting. But we will see the CFS for the next 6 months, right way through to December. Okay then, so just to say that the weekend forecast has been released, your weekend look ahead, that's first video up to date as always on a Saturday, and of course our regular 10 to 14 dayer as well, so have a look at both of those videos if you would like to do that. I'll tell you what's happening tomorrow at the end of this one. Right, let's get on with it then. So we're going to start off with the CFS V2 700 millibar height anomaly for July. Now, of course, this is only a few weeks away, just a couple of weeks away. So if everything's working correctly, this should be the most reliable part of the whole thing. So the CFS is forecasting above average heights to be sort of to the northwest of the country. Could be some lower heights through here, but it doesn't really show that. Overall, it looks like a relatively anticyclonic sort of signal for July. The only thing is that ridge is kind of to our northwest, so I don't think it'd be particularly hot necessarily. But you would probably expect quite a bit of dry weather with that, and a relatively pleasant month in prospect. That's August, 700 millibar height anomaly. So with this one, we're beginning to take the high pressure just a little bit further northwards. We're going to take the high pressure slightly up towards Iceland. And that leaves us bringing in sort of an easterly type wind. So, and there is a little bit of trough of low pressure through here as well. That could be a little bit more unsettled. The high pressure is a bit further north, up to there. And with low pressure through there, I think it does hint at possibility anyway, of a bit of undercutting of the ridge going on. So possibly a little bit more unsettled for August, but overall it's not a bad signal. I think we're probably still bringing quite a lot of easterly winds there, and high pressure just to our north. We should expect some reasonable weather in with that as well. Now, month number 3, September, so we're a long way out. This goes rather strange. We have got above average heights up here towards Svalbard, so we have got some hints of northern blocking actually, which is quite unusual in September. Otherwise, there's not much else to go on. Some sort of low pressure is through here, a little bit of a westerly type flow as well. Excuse me. It's very difficult to ascertain what is happening there, but it could be reverting something a little bit more unsettled, a little bit westerly, I think, as we go through into September. October, now we're at month number 4, so we're in the realm of just for fun, don't take this at all seriously, but October places an area of above average heights to our south, high pressure to the south. Again, there's no particular low pressure, but you would think there's going to be low pressure through here with the jet stream, and reverting to like a westerly sort of pattern, and potentially a little bit on the unsettled side as well. Probably relatively mild though. Month number 5 is November, and we are strengthening the zonal signal now. So we have got low pressure developing up towards Greenland and Iceland, high pressure developing through the middle of the Atlantic into central, western, southwest parts of Europe. Winds in from the west. That just looks like a relatively mild, westerly, Atlantic-driven and zonal November. And then finally we reach month number 6, which is December with CFS V2. Quite an unusual sort of pattern. So we've got above average heights, high pressure down to our southwest. That's going to be the main thing to bring in mild westerly winds. We have got a trough of low pressure over Scandinavia. We come over here. across Scandinavia. And then there's some higher pressure actually within the northern latitudes as well. I would suspect overall that's a mild Atlantic-driven type month, but of course we would need to keep an eye on those above average heights developing within the Arctic. Temperature anomalies from CFS V2 for July. Not much of a signal really on the western side of Europe. Sort of near normal type temperature anomalies, a little bit cooler than average down across far southern parts of Europe, south of France, Spain and Portugal, warmer than average up towards Scandinavia. Near normal, I think, the signal temperature anomaly for July. August, again, not much of a signal, really. So there's no sign of this summer being excessively hot through July and August from the CFS V2. A little bit warmer than average here through these western parts of Europe, but it's a weak signal. And I mean, just very little sign of anything particularly warm in either July or August, to be honest. That goes on into September as well. Again, very little signal for September. It's a bit warmer than average up towards Iceland, a little bit for northern parts of Scandinavia. Again, otherwise, you know, we're just talking about average or no signal for temperature. Maybe even hinting at being a little bit on the cooler side, like across southern parts of France, for example. So definitely nothing excessively hot being forecast here for the rest of the summer and into sort of late summer as well. October looks like that. Again, very weak signals here on a month-by-month basis. We've got northern parts of Europe again looking a little bit warmer than average up there, but otherwise there's very little to go on really with the temperature anomaly for October. Now November does start to revert to being much milder than average, so we've got the red colours begin to turn up across northern parts of Europe. Oranges elsewhere. We're bringing in that southwesterly to westerly flow, of course, for November, but it is month number 5, so it's not worth worrying about. And that sort of mild weather goes on into December as well. November and December looking significantly milder than average, but we're talking about months 5 and 6 with these west-southwesterlies, so again, it isn't worth taking particularly seriously at this stage. And then finally, precipitation, or finally from this first part of the video, precipitation anomalies from the CFS V2. So this is how July's precipitation anomaly is looking. Dry than average really for the UK and for Ireland and for northern parts of Europe as well during July. Wetter than average down across southern, southeastern parts of Europe. That's August as well, so weak signals in both July and August for temperature and precipitation. If anything though, possibly on the drier side for like northern parts of Europe. It does hint at possibly being a little bit on the drier side, but generally they are weak signals, these, for both July and for August, and we're only months 1 and 2. September looks like going a bit more unsettled, so I think we are probably reverting to more of a westerly during September with some lower pressure probably through here. And so it is gradually starting to go to something a little bit more unsettled for the UK, from parts of France, Scandinavia, just beginning to get a little bit better than average in September. October looks like that, so again, we're talking about slightly above average precipitation for September and October, a little bit more on the unsettled side, if anything, as we're going into the autumn. November also looking rather wetter than average. Again, we're bringing in those west-southwesterlies, so quite a wettish autumn being forecast here from the CFS V2, although July and August have weaker signals and possibly look sort of weakly drier. And then we finish up in December, which is quite a significantly wetter than average month. Again, we're bringing in those westerlies. We've got high pressure down towards Spain. Low pressure is up here. And so we drive in the westerlies, and we look mild but wet as we go through November and December. It's months 5 and 6. It isn't worth being concerned about at this point. So I think we say don't worry about that. the summer prospect from a CFS V2 does look pretty weak, but again, there's no sign of anything excessively hot here, and I think that's the main story after the last couple of summers have been really hot. There's no sign of a CFS going to town on heat for July and for August, so we shall see. Okay, we'll talk for 10 minutes. I'm going to pause the video there, and we'll be back in a moment, and then we're going to have a look at Beijing Climate Centre. So we'll do it all over again, except this time we'll stop at month number 5. We won't go to month number 6 until we do our live stream tomorrow. More very shortly, though, so I'll see you soon. Okay, we're back. And we're ready to resume June 2020 CFS versus Beijing Climate Centre 6 months. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video so far. Please give us a like on the video, give us a thumbs up, let us know in the comments what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to the Gaz Weathers YouTube channel. We're trying to get the subs up to 7k by the end of the summer. Not sure we'll be able to do it, but it would be really nice if we could. Okay, so through the first part of the video, we discussed CFS V2. We are now rolling on, and we're going to have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre. So here we go. Now, remember, with this, we're only going to month number 5, November. I'm going to save December, month number 6, and the months after that for tomorrow's live stream. More about that at the end of the video. But we begin in July, so we're doing it all over again. We started the CFS off in July, and now we're going to have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre for July as well. So this is the 500 millibar height anomaly for July 2020 from the Beijing Climate Centre, and this looks really unsettled. This is quite different to what the CFS was showing. It's only like next month as well. So this one looks much more unsettled with below average heights there across the UK and northern parts of Europe. It leaves us bringing in the westerlies. So so that looks like a proper sort of unsettled month of it there for July. Not a particularly good month at all. August looks better. This is month number 2, and we've got above average heights then starting to build up from the south. Lower pressure being pushed northwards with the jet stream. So August definitely looks like it shifts to something drier and warmer, but we have got quite an unsettled July to get through before we get to that better August. September, month number 3, so a long way out, of course, but September goes anticyclonic with a large area of high pressure then setting up over the top of the country. There's no particular low pressure either, but I would think there's got to be some low pressure. So probably a trough through here and probably some low pressure through there with the jet stream doing something a little bit like that. So, so that looks like a dry and a warm September being indicated there. That's October. Again, above average height, strongly signal for October. High pressure is out to the west of the country. This time, I suspect we're bringing in like a northwesterly flow, though. So, I mean, we're talking about a dry scene. Of course, the Atlantic is well and truly blocked off, so we wouldn't be expecting all that much in the way of unsettled weather. But yes, definitely looking pretty dry there. And with winds in from the northwest, it could be a little bit on the cooler side as well, perhaps. And then this is as far as we're going to go for this video. This is November. And this is a little bit interesting. In November, we have the above average heights over, but also slightly to our north. There is a trough of low pressure digging in across Scandinavia and northern Europe and into northwestern Russia. So we're probably just on the periphery there, some really quite cold air plunging into northern Europe. Jet stream will be doing something a little bit like that. And if we could come over to here, the jet stream will be doing something a little bit like that. Cold air is plunging in through here. It would take much of an adjustment, actually, to send this high pressure further northwest. If it went a bit further northwest, then we'll start to pull down those northerly winds. So just rather in between, but not all that far from being pretty cold for November. And as I say, you'll see tomorrow how this rolls on as we get into December. So I'm not going to go any further than that, but come back for the live tomorrow and you'll find out then what happens beyond November. This is a temperature anomaly from Beige Climate Centre for July, so only a little bit above average. It's not a excessively warm month at all, just very close to normal really, to slightly above average. August does look warmer as the high pressure begins to get going. In August we start to see the temperature beginning to lift up, so August is a warmer month. Not excessively so, but it is warmer particularly compared to July. September also warmer than average. Again, we're in those orange colours, so pretty warm for September. October, again, slightly warmer than average. None of these months are excessively hot, but all are a little bit above average. So a bit warmer than average for August, bit warmer than average for September, bit warmer than average for October. I think by October we could be starting to pull in something a little bit cooler from a northwest bow, maybe. And then we go through to November, and again, slightly above average temperature only for November. Interestingly, much of Northern Europe looks really warm, and I'm not sure how that equates to the 500 millibar height anomaly. So we're in those red colours there across the northern parts of Europe. But remember, at this point, there's a trough of low pressure digging in through here. That trough of low pressure will pull down cold air from the Arctic. So, as ever with these long-range models, you do have to interpret. And let's go back to the height anomaly. Where is it? Is it that one? No, it's this one. So if we've got this trough of low pressure digging in through here, and the jet stream is digging in like that, we are not going to have temperature anomalies on the scale like going off the chart. Let's go back to temperature anomaly. So there's a temperature anomaly. So there's a scale. The red colours and the pink colours are like taking temperature anomaly to like 2, 3, 4 degrees above average. If there's a trough of low pressure digging in through here in November, and the jet stream is doing something like that, then we are not going to have temperature anomalies 2 to 4 degrees above average in that part of the world. It will actually be cold. We'll pull the cold air out of the Arctic. So as ever with these lines, you do have to interpret a lot of the time. Okay, let's just move on to precipitation then finally from Beige Climate Centre. So July comes out wetter than average. Look at this, not a very good month at all. Remember, the CFS V2 is nowhere near as bad as this for July, but certainly Beige Climate Centre does look pretty grim for July. August goes drier than average as the high pressure begins to ridge up from the Azores. We go drier than average into August. September sees high pressure over the top of the country, so that also is drier than average. October is rather drier than average as well, only slightly so, but it is a little bit on the drier than average side. And then we finish up in November, and that one also is rather drier than average once again in November. And of course, we wait to see after that what happens as we get through into winter months. And more about that in the live stream tomorrow. Okay, that's it for Beige Climate Centre versus CFS 6-month look ahead for today. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll do it all over again next month. And next month we'll be extending further out, of course. Further and further out with these longer range models and getting more and more towards those all-important winter months. Right then, so that's it for videos for today. Now tomorrow the first video up will be the second autumn 2020 update, so we're going to be looking at spring data for that one, spring to autumn data. Gals Weather's Sunny Roundup is back after a 1 week layoff, so you'll be able to see the Sunny Roundup sometime around lunchtime tomorrow. We're going to have the E70F, Meteo France and DWD long-range season model update around 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, something like that. And then, as I say, we're live streaming from 5, and within that live stream we will look at Beijing Climate Centre 500 millibar heights for the winter of 2020-21. And as I say, we're going to be live from 5, so I'll see you then. That's all for today's video, so that's all for now. Thanks for watching.